Once you have figured out your position on the attachment scale, you can now create a new relationship with your goals, a healthy, loving, and honest relationship. This relationship, it exists in the sweet spot between I'm going to make it happen no matter what, and maybe it will happen, maybe it won't, we'll see. Hello and welcome to the Brave Marketing Podcast with your host, Swapna Thomas. This is the podcast for the renegades, the trailblazing leaders, and the change makers who don't just have a business, it's your calling. Those of you who want to make a difference and make money, but all on your own terms. I'm on a mission to show as many life coaches as possible how you can have more income, more impact, and infinitely more fun by being unapologetically and bravely you and breaking all the rules. I have created 5-figure months with no paid ads, a tiny list, and zero complicated sales funnels. Simplifying marketing and teaching you how to use it for good in the world is my zone of genius. With this podcast, I'm here to share weekly episodes on the soul and the strategy of marketing, mindset, money, and everything online business. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Brave Marketing Podcast. I am recording this episode on the 15th of November, which is officially the middle of the month. And I wanted to talk about something which is so common in business, especially during this time. It's the mid-month slump. So at the mid-month mark, I have usually seen one of these two things happen. The first is that you started the month with a bang, you got sales in, and maybe you got either halfway to your goal or more, but then you suddenly find a sense of complacency just set in. You feel like you've made enough, and to make it to your full goal is going to be really hard. So you start slacking a bit, feeling a little disconnected from your business and your clients, and almost like coasting along. And the second situation I've seen is that you started the month with all the energy, your intentions were on point, you were doing your mindset work every day, and you felt so sure that your goal was inevitable, but then sales didn't happen the way you expected them to, and now you find yourself checking out of business, wanting to binge on Netflix and chips, making excuses for why it cannot happen anymore, and yes, coasting along. The thing is that externally, it might not look like this at all. You still show up, you still post the posts, you still send the emails, but energetically, you're out of alignment with your goals. So how do you get back on track? How do you get back in alignment with your goals? First of all, I want you to stop taking your goals so seriously. It's when you start putting your goals on a pedestal and putting so much pressure on the goal and yourself that things start going downhill. Your goal is just an arbitrary number you picked. Don't make it mean anything. Whether or not you reach this goal, you are enough. So think about, what are you making this number mean about you, about your business, and about your worthiness. Next, I want you to examine, where are you on the attachment scale when it comes to your goal, especially in the beginning of the month. So are you full blown, let's go, let's make this happen, nothing's going to stop me, and I'm going to make this a reality no matter what kind of energy on the attachment scale? Or are you, this is my goal, I love this goal, but it might happen, it might not happen. We'll see, I'm going to keep showing up and we'll see what happens. Basically a wishy-washy, loosey-goosey energy. Because in either of these extreme situations, you are in a stress response. The stress caused by the pressure you have put on yourself with this number, with this goal, it's causing your nervous system to go into either fight or flight mode. So when you are in fight mode, you do all the things. You take massive action. You post every day. You make offers. You're doing live 10 times a day. You're ready to work through any challenges that come your way. And when you're in flight mode, you might still be doing the things, but it's, unintentional. You show up, but you don't make offers confidently, or you make offers, but you don't really expect anyone to sign up. And you're probably also spending a lot of time on busy work, things that are not really going to generate any income or move the needle in your business, but take up a lot of time and energy. So, like tinkering with your graphics or your website, or stuff that doesn't really make an impact on the bottom line of your business. And either way, whether or not you make your goal, by the middle of the month, you're gonna start feeling edging towards burnout. That's when you're gonna start micro quitting by thinking you have made enough to get by, or that you're not gonna hit your goal. So I'm gonna check out. I'm not gonna do this anymore. And I say micro quitting because you're not a quitter. You're going to keep going. And next month, you will start the whole cycle all over again. But like they say, if you keep doing the same things, you will keep getting the same results. And because you're operating from the stress responses, you will also shame yourself. You're going to be mean to yourself, and you're going to get really hard on yourself, which will eventually fully push you into the burnout mode. Even talking about this is making my energy so heavy. So, what do we do? The next step is to create a committed relationship with your goals. Once you have figured out your position on the attachment scale, you can now create a new relationship with your goals, a healthy, loving, and honest relationship. This relationship, it exists in the sweet spot between I'm going to make it happen no matter what, and maybe it will happen, maybe it won't, we'll see. It exists somewhere between these two. So in this sweet spot, there are 5 steps to take. And these are the 5 steps that are going to get you back on track and in alignment with your goals, especially if you're feeling that mid-month slump energy. And this has worked for me. This has worked for my clients. So I want you to try this and let me know how it goes. Okay, so we're going to dive straight in. The first step is that you decide your goal purely out of desire, not because you need to prove your worthiness or enoughness in any way. You look at your goal and it feels so exciting, it feels expansive. It would make you super proud. It would make you feel amazing. This goal is only coming from your desires, not from your coach, not from your peers, not from anyone else. So if you don't feel like that about your goal right now, I want you to take a look at your goal and adjust it, tweak it, right? Either you recommit to the goal and you find your desire with the goal, or you decide on another goal, which makes you feel, I'm going to be so excited to reach this goal. Doesn't mean that you have to always lower down your goal. It might actually sometimes mean that you have to increase your goal, because the lower number is actually bringing your energy down. So that's the first step. Recommit to your goal, redecide your goal. Step 2 is to know that the timeline is only there for you to make it fun, not to put any kind of pressure on you. There is no pressure to be on track where you feel like unless you have already made 50% of your goal by 15 days of the month, you're not going to be able to reach your number. Things can happen in the last 3 days. Things can happen in the last 1 week. So stop putting this pressure on the timeline. And if it doesn't happen this month, it will happen next month. But are you willing to treat the timeline as something that is fun instead of something that is, hanging like a noose over you? So that's the second step. The third step then is that you get okay with being disappointed. The truth is that most of us don't go all in when it comes to our goals. And I mean all in energetically. Because it feels like, what if I go all in? I really hope and wish and, I really hold the possibility that this goal is going to be mine. And then I'm going to be massively disappointed. So when you fear that disappointment, you don't commit to your goal. But the irony is that when you don't commit to your goal, you don't reach the goal and you still end up being disappointed. So get okay with being disappointed either way. The fourth step is to bring awareness to what stories are you creating around your goal. Stories around having to do lots of hustle, that you're going to feel constantly overwhelmed. The last time I went for this goal, it was really, really hard and it just completely wiped my energy out. I'm going to have to push myself so hard and I'm going to end up fighting with my partner, not being able to give time to my kids, and I'm going to burn myself out. So, what stories are you repeating and are you making up around this goal? And when you start bringing awareness to these stories, I want you to look at two things. You can use these as journal prompts. So the first is, who am I when I am in a committed, healthy relationship with my goals? Okay, who am I being? Am I being the unwavering CEO of my business who knows, who just has this knowing that my goals are meant for me, my desires are meant for me? And I just hold that belief so strongly. And the timelines don't matter. The month end or month beginning doesn't matter. Being on track doesn't matter. Because if I know that this is my desire, it's going to happen for me. And what does that look like? How do you show up in that energy? Who are you being when you're in that committed relationship with your goal, but in a healthy relationship with your goal? So you're being loving to yourself, you're being kind to yourself. Even if you don't make sales, you don't make it mean anything bad about yourself. And the second journal prompt is, what do I get out of not being in a committed relationship with my goals? So that might look like I can keep staying where I am and I can avoid becoming who I can really be, like my full potential, because that feels so scary. I can keep using the excuses that I have used for so many years so that I can tell everyone that, if situation was different, then I would have everything that I want. But becoming someone in a healthy relationship with my goals would stretch me to stop using those excuses, right? So what are you getting out of this basically by having a toxic relationship with your goals? And then ask yourself, am I willing to do the work to really cultivate this healthy relationship with my goals? Any healthy relationship takes work. Are you willing to do that? And then finally, step 5. This has two parts. So the first part is to open yourself up to the ways your goal can happen. So all the permutations and combinations of how you can receive money in your business. Do you have one-on-one spots to fill? Maybe you're offering a course. Maybe there are mastermind spots. Maybe you can open up a waiting list for something that you don't have open right now, but it's going to be open very soon. The next part, the second part, is to decide all the things that you're willing to do for this goal to happen or for the money to be received in your business. So from now till the end of the month, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to make 2 offer posts a day? Are you willing to send an email to your list every other day or to go live on Instagram once every 3 days? What are you willing to do? What action are you willing to take? But the caveat is, only put the things on this list that you're willing and excited to do. If creating 5 reels every day feels like a hell no, then don't do it. Don't put it on the list. And then the only thing that remains is to stay unflinchingly in belief that your goal is happening and you're committed to taking the actions you said you're going to take. And that you're committed to being very, very kind and very, very loving to yourself along the way. And that you're committed to work through any of the stories that come up without letting the stress push you into fight or flight mode. And that's how you get back in alignment with your goal and get back on track with your goal. So wherever you are in your month right now, at this point, I want you to try these 5 steps. And at the end of the month, do let me know how that went. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. I would love to know and I would love to help you out. And this is the kind of mindset work I help my one-on-one clients do that has them creating 5-figure months while being on vacation. If you know that you're ready for more sales, more soulful impact, and more simplicity in your business, then you are ready for my one-on-one coaching program, Made for More. You can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram to have a chat or book a call from the link given in the show notes. I can't wait to help you reach your goals without all the mind drama or all the unnecessary hustle, and just with lots and lots of excitement, love, and kindness. This was the episode for this week. Until next week, stay brave. That's the episode for today. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I am thrilled to have you as part of the Brave Marketing community. Because this podcast is still brand new, it would mean so much to me if you could leave a 5-star review, as that will make it easy for other brave hearts to find this podcast and grow our community of rule breakers. Until next time, have a brave week ahead.